Picture this. A landlord rents out a property to a seemingly perfect tenant, only to find out months later that they have a history of defaulting on rent. Sound familiar? It's a common scenario. But the good news is, it's also avoidable. This video is all about learning from common landlord mistakes and transforming them into opportunities for growth and improvement. So, if you're ready to become a more effective and efficient property manager, hit that subscribe button. Let's dive right into our first common landlord mistake. Mistake number 1, inadequate tenant screening. You might think that renting your property is as simple as handing over the keys to the first person who shows interest. But let's pause for a moment and consider the consequences of insufficient tenant screening. It's like giving your car keys to a stranger without checking their driving record. You wouldn't do that, would you? Tenant screening is not just about ensuring payment on time, although that's a significant part. It's also about maintaining your property's condition, fostering a peaceful community, and avoiding potential legal issues. So how do you conduct a thorough tenant background check? Let's break it down step by step. Firstly, a credit check is essential. This provides insights into the applicant's financial responsibility. It shows if they have a history of paying their bills on time or if they're drowning in debt. But remember, a less than perfect credit score doesn't necessarily mean a tenant will be unreliable. Life happens and people face financial hardships. It's more about spotting patterns of financial irresponsibility. Next, don't underestimate the power of reference checks. Contacting previous landlords can give you a clearer picture of what type of tenant the applicant might be. Were they respectful to neighbors? Did they maintain the property well? Did they pay rent on time? These are all crucial questions a previous landlord can help answer. Lastly, a criminal background check is recommended. This helps ensure the safety of your property and the community. It's important to note that a past criminal record doesn't automatically disqualify someone from being a good tenant. However, it's a piece of the puzzle that helps you make an informed decision. Tenant screening might seem like a lot of work, but think about it this way. A few hours spent on thorough screening can save you weeks, if not months, of potential headaches. It's about protecting your investment and ensuring a positive landlord-tenant relationship. Remember, a little time spent on thorough tenant screening can save you a lot of trouble down the line. Moving on to mistake number 2, neglecting property maintenance. Now imagine you're driving a car. Would you ignore that glaring check engine light? Probably not, right? You'd want to address it before it turns into a bigger, costlier issue. The same principle applies to property management. When landlords neglect regular upkeep, small problems often snowball into major ones. A leaky faucet today could mean water damage tomorrow. An ignored pest sighting could lead to an infestation. These neglects can lead to costly repairs and, in some cases, legal headaches. Plus, let's not forget, a well-maintained property is more appealing to tenants. Everyone likes a clean, functional living space, and it shows in the rent you can charge. So, how do you avoid falling into this trap? The answer is simple: regular property maintenance. Think of it as your property's health checkup. You wouldn't skip a doctor's appointment, would you? Start by creating a maintenance checklist. This should include both interior and exterior elements of your property. On the inside, check the condition of things like appliances, plumbing, electrical systems, and heating or cooling units. On the outside, assess the state of the roof, gutters, paintwork, and landscaping. Ensure regular inspections are carried out by professionals, especially for areas requiring special expertise like the electrical system or the structural integrity of the property. It's always better to catch issues early before they become costly problems. Also, consider seasonal maintenance. For instance, before winter, ensure heating systems are working efficiently and gutters are clear of debris. Come summer, check air conditioning units and outdoor spaces. Remember, maintenance isn't just about reacting to issues. It's about proactively identifying potential problems and addressing them head-on. This way, you're not just saving money on hefty repair bills, but also ensuring your property remains a desirable place to live. Treating property maintenance as an ongoing task, rather than a once-in-a-blue-moon activity, can make a world of difference. It's all about staying ahead of the game, keeping your property in tip-top shape, and creating a win-win situation for both you and your tenants. A well-maintained property is an investment that pays off in the long run. The third mistake on our list is misunderstanding legal obligations. Now you might be thinking, I've read the lease agreement, what more do I need? Well, as it turns out, quite a bit more. You see, legal obligations for landlords extend far beyond the lease agreement. They encompass a wide array of rules and regulations that vary from location to location. For instance, do you know the specifics of the deposit rules in your area? If you're thinking, deposit rules, what are those? You're not alone. Many landlords aren't aware that there are strict guidelines about how and when to return a tenant's deposit. Similarly, let's talk about eviction processes. This can be a tricky area, fraught with potential for missteps. Eviction is a legal process, and each step must be carried out in accordance with the law. You can't just change the locks one fine day because your tenant decided to host a wild party. Now, I know this sounds overwhelming, but don't fret. There are resources available to help you navigate these complex waters. Local landlord-tenant laws can often be found online, and many areas have associations that offer informational resources and even classes to help you stay informed. One such resource could be a local landlord association or a legal aid society. They often have up-to-date information about laws and regulations and can be a great source of advice and support. You could also consider consulting with a real estate attorney. Yes, it may cost a bit, but think of it as an investment in your peace of mind and the smooth operation of your rental business. Remember, as a landlord, you're not just a property owner, you're a business owner. And part of running a successful business is understanding and fulfilling your legal obligations. So, take the time to educate yourself. Not only will this help you avoid costly mistakes, but it will also demonstrate to your tenants that you're a responsible and professional landlord. Knowledge is power. Stay informed, stay compliant. Mistake number 4, poor communication with tenants. Imagine this. You've got a tenant who's been quiet as a mouse. No complaints, no issues. Then, suddenly, they're out. No renewal, no explanation, just a vacant property. What went wrong? This scenario is more common than you think, and often it comes down to poor communication. Communication is the lifeblood of any relationship, and the landlord-tenant relationship is no different. It's not just about responding to maintenance requests or sending rent reminders. It's about fostering a sense of trust and understanding. When tenants feel listened to and respected, they're more likely to stick around, pay their rent on time, and take care of the property. So, how do you improve your communication with tenants? First off, be proactive. Don't wait for problems to arise. Reach out periodically to see how things are going and let your tenants know that you're available if they need anything. Next, be clear and concise. If there's a change in policy or an upcoming inspection, make sure your tenants understand what's happening and why. Avoid jargon and legalese. Plain and simple language is your friend. Also, consider the method of communication. Some tenants may prefer a text message or email, while others might appreciate a phone call or face-to-face chat. Find out what works best for each tenant and respect their preferences. Finally, practice empathy. Remember, your tenants are people, not just income sources. They have lives, jobs, and families. If they're having a problem, try to put yourself in their shoes. A little understanding goes a long way in building strong, long-lasting relationships. But remember, while it's important to be friendly and approachable, you're running a business, not a charity. Be firm but fair when it comes to enforcing rules and policies. Consistency is key. In summary, cultivating open, respectful communication with your tenants can help prevent misunderstandings, reduce turnover, and create a positive living environment. It's a win-win for both you and your tenants. Good communication is key to a successful landlord-tenant relationship. And finally, mistake number 5, the DIY management overwhelm. The thrill of managing your own properties can be intoxicating, but let's get real, it can also be incredibly challenging, especially if you're juggling multiple units or other commitments. Imagine being a handyman, a mediator, a bookkeeper, and a legal expert all at once. Sounds exhausting, right? The truth is, property management isn't just about collecting rent checks. It's a full-time job that requires a diverse set of skills, time, and energy. When the tasks pile up, overwhelm is not far behind, and that's when mistakes happen. But don't lose hope. There's a solution: hiring a property management service. A professional team can help alleviate the stress by taking over the day-to-day operations, freeing up your time, and ensuring your properties are managed efficiently and legally. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Consider professional help. And there you have it, 5 common landlord mistakes and how to avoid them. From conducting thorough tenant screenings to understanding your legal obligations and maintaining regular property upkeep. Remember, effective communication with your tenants is key, and don't let DIY management overwhelm you. If you found this information useful, do subscribe and check out our other resources for more in-depth guidance. Stay tuned for our next video where we'll tackle more property management challenges. Until then, keep learning and keep growing.